Liv Morgan sends a cryptic message after Dominik Mysterio apologized to her, subtly reveals her true feelings. Things have taken a sharp turn for the worse between Liv Morgan and Dominik Mysterio, who once appeared to be one of WWE's most promising power couples. Their relationship, which flourished under the dark and mysterious umbrella of the Judgment Day, has now hit a rough patch, and the turning point came during WWE Raw's premiere on Netflix. The night everything changed. The night began with high expectations, as Liv Morgan was set to defend her Women's World Championship against Rhea Ripley. However, the match ended in heartbreak for Morgan as she lost the coveted title to Ripley. While that was a crushing defeat in itself, the events that followed were even more damaging to her personal life. After the match, in a surprising twist, Dominik Mysterio, Morgan's partner in both Love and the Judgment Day, made an unexpected move. Mysterio, who had been by Morgan's side throughout her reign as champion, offered a hug to none other than Rhea Ripley, the very woman who had just dethroned Morgan. To make matters worse, it seemed as if Mysterio was quietly severing ties with Morgan in favor of rekindling his bond with Ripley, who is also his mentor and the Judgment Day's leader. Of course, Ripley wasted no time in reacting. She attacked Mysterio on the spot, leaving fans in shock. But it was the emotional blow to Morgan that truly resonated. Dominik's decision to offer Ripley a hug instead of standing by Morgan's side immediately after her loss felt like a betrayal. Dominik's attempt at making amends. The fallout from Mysterio's actions didn't end with Ripley's attack. Backstage during this week's Raw, Mysterio tried to make amends with Morgan, seemingly aware of how deeply his actions had hurt her. He handed her a bouquet of roses, likely hoping to smooth things over and mend their fractured relationship. However, Morgan's response to this gesture was anything but forgiving. Rather than graciously accepting the flowers, she tossed them over to Carlito, who was nearby. The symbolism behind the act was clear. Morgan wasn't impressed. Even worse for Mysterio, Morgan made him run errands for her, further diminishing his attempt at reconciliation. A cryptic message on social media. As if the events of Raw weren't enough to solidify the tension between the two, Liv Morgan took to social media 2 days later to drop a cryptic hint about her feelings. On her official X/Twitter account, she posted a gif of herself looking at the roses that Dominik had given her, her facial expression a mixture of confusion and disinterest. The gesture spoke volumes, and it seems clear that Morgan wasn't won over by Mysterio's apology or his flowers. While she may have publicly stated that she isn't mad at Mysterio, Morgan's actions and tone suggest otherwise. Her reluctance to accept his apology and her cold treatment of his attempts to make things right are a stark contrast to the relationship they once shared. The underlying tension is palpable, and fans are left wondering what this means for their future, both as a couple and as members of the Judgment Day. WWE's subtle warning to Dominik Mysterio. It's not just Morgan who has been sending signals about Mysterio's actions. WWE's own Instagram account even subtly warned the young star about his behavior. In a post that seemed to serve as a public reminder to Mysterio, WWE hinted that his decisions might have serious consequences, both in his personal and professional life. The post, along with Morgan's actions, suggests that Dominik Mysterio has some serious work to do if he wants to repair the damage he has caused. What's next for Liv Morgan and Dominik Mysterio? The relationship between Liv Morgan and Dominik Mysterio seems to be on the rocks, but what happens next remains uncertain. Mysterio's apology tour has begun, but whether it will be enough to regain Morgan's trust is still up in the air. The emotional fallout from his actions on Raw is still fresh, and only time will tell if Morgan is willing to forgive him or if their relationship is beyond repair. What's clear, however, is that this isn't just a personal matter for Mysterio. It could also have long-term implications for his standing within the Judgment Day, especially as the faction continues to dominate WWE. If Mysterio can't repair his relationship with Morgan, it might affect his role in the group and his alignment with Ripley. For now, the future of Liv Morgan and Dominik Mysterio remains uncertain. Fans will be watching closely to see how this drama unfolds, but one thing is for sure. The Judgment Day's once perfect couple is no longer on the same page. Dominik Mysterio's relationship with Liv Morgan has taken a major hit, leaving fans to question what's next for the young star if she decides to end their partnership. As a member of the Judgment Day, Mysterio has been closely linked with the group's powerful female figures, especially Rhea Ripley. But if Morgan decides to break up with him, Dominik will have to find his way, and his future in WWE could go in several directions. The need for self-reflection. For all of his success as Dirty Dom, Dominik Mysterio has spent much of his career under the shadow of the women in the Judgment Day, particularly Ripley and Morgan. His relationship with Liv Morgan has largely defined his character, but if things go south, Dominik will need to step out of their shadows and prove he can stand on his own. This period of self-reflection could be the catalyst for his personal growth, which may set the stage for a major transformation in his WWE career. A redemption arc and babyface turn. One of the most intriguing possibilities for Dominik Mysterio's future, should his relationship with Morgan end, is a redemption arc. After spending so much time as the smarmy, arrogant heel, Mysterio could begin to question his actions and his loyalty to the Judgment Day. This inner turmoil could eventually lead to a dramatic change in his character, where he turns on his former allies, most notably Finn Balor. A babyface turn for Dominik could see him rise to prominence as a self-made star, stepping out of the long shadow of his faction. He could start standing up for himself, taking on bigger challenges, and ultimately leading to a confrontation with Balor, which could serve as the climax of his redemption arc. In defeating Balor, Dominik would not only free himself from the Judgment Day, but could also end the faction's grip on WWE. This turn of events would position Mysterio as a sympathetic character, and fans who once booed him might begin to rally behind him. A new partnership with Tiffany Stratton, while a redemption arc and babyface turn are exciting possibilities, Dominik Mysterio may also choose to follow a different path. Instead of distancing himself from the Judgment Day, he could latch onto another rising star in WWE's women's division. One potential partner who could offer Dominik a new lease on life is Tiffany Stratton. Stratton, who has made a name for herself as a cocky and confident young star, could be the perfect ally for Mysterio. Like him, she exudes a certain arrogance and swagger that could make for an interesting pairing. Together, they could form a new power couple in WWE, with Mysterio playing the role of a henchman or partner to Stratton's growing rise in the women's division. Such a partnership would allow Dominik to continue using his Dirty Dom persona, but with a fresh dynamic that doesn't rely on the Judgment Day's leadership.